This is August 2011. This is a electronic color sorter that we're relocating from down below up to here. We actually had to take it in two pieces to bring it up here, and modifying a line that I actually built 3 years ago. We're going to put a hand placing packing area on this side and make it a dual line, so the original color fillers on this other side can be used also, or both at the same time, depending on the needs of the packing at the time. This is a lid machine we built at the same time 3 years ago. These are called a soft fill box filler. Originally were built in '95 by a company called Cook in Washington State. They worked okay for a very slow operation, but the controls and the box feed system were really inadequate for any volume. So it sat out in the field for about 7 years. I brought it in and modified it quite a bit. Each individual station has its own box feed. As you can see, the box will tilt back so the tomatoes roll in, and you don't get the bruising you would have if you just dropped them in the box. Each one has its own PLC, or programmable logic controller, that controls the action of each filler. The PLC also controls the traffic as the box comes out of the filler. That little conveyor there will stop the box if there's a box coming on the roller system, and wait for the box to go by, and then it'll let it go on to the conveyor belt. I'll do more videos as I go along and document the whole thing for a change. Well, it's 3.5 days later. Color sorters put back together. All the chains are hooked up, and wires and all the carriers are snapped back in there. I've got the box fillers in place, all lined up, and the box filler runouts are all ready to go. This particular filler is all pneumatic. It has a real quick cycle time because the empty box pushes the full box off the scale, so the cycle time is real quick, so you end up having a faster filler. It'll do about 6 boxes a minute. The non-tilt varieties I've built will do over 10. Originally this machine was 10 stations long, and it didn't have the individual box drops that I built for it. It had a traffic system, so the boxes were fed at the far end down there, and when 10 used a box, it would take a box from 9, and then 9 would have to take a box from 8, and 8 would have to take a box from 7. So you can imagine it was kind of a nightmare if you tried to run any kind of speed at all. And then to make it even worse, the boxes exited directly onto a belt, so if there was a box coming, it couldn't exit, so you ended up sometimes with tomatoes piled up because it couldn't get rid of the boxes. So with the individual box drops, and then with these runouts, it can get rid of the box no matter what. And with the traffic system, that little yellow unit will pop up and hold the box back until there's a space in the takeaway belt to conveyor to exit them on. So it works real well and can do some real volume. It has a dribble gate system. Those two gates right here, this one, it's almost full, this gate will close, and then it lets the last tomato or two drop in there, and then that other gate will close and it exit the box. It makes for a lot more accurate fill. The dribble gate system that was on it originally didn't work very well, so I built those for it. And again, this has the mini PLC. This particular model comes with 8 inputs, 6 outputs, and then I added a card to it because I needed a few more inputs and outputs than that. Very reliable unit. I've used over 40 of them different machines I've built. Haven't had any real problems other than a lightning strike taking out 2 of them. But very good units, inexpensive, about $120. You can't hardly buy a relay for that anymore. And the software is real inexpensive. If you want to learn PLCs, that's a good avenue to use, is Automation Direct out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't think they'll send me a check for that endorsement, but use them anyway. I'll keep you updated as I go. Okay, we got another update. We've got the live roller conveyor in place in front of all the box fillers. They're called live rollers because each one is individually driven by a O-ring or band that loops over them and goes down around a central shaft underneath. These particular live rollers came out of a shut down facility out of Florida. There's a lot of used equipment out there because of the problem with packing houses having to shut down, growers going out of business. It's just the way it is because of the Free Trade Act that made tomatoes and citrus cheaper to import than grow here. You can buy them and truck them in cheaper than you can grow and pack them here. That's just the reality of the situation. It's gotten better with the increase in fuel prices. It actually helped that situation because it raised the shipping cost to get them here. So it's made the local growers and packers a little bit more competitive.